Hey everyone, and welcome back to Jurassic World Evolution 2, and welcome to a little bit of a one-off build today, where we are going to build a paleo research facility, or like a paleo field research facility as I called it. Now the idea about this is that in the franchise of Jurassic World, we are now living in a world in which we have uncovered a lot of potential with making actually living dinosaurs from, well, what we have actually uncovered from sands and stones over decades and decades and decades that has been in the form of fossils until a certain Mr. Hammond found a way to bring these things back to life. And now with all the advancements we've made over time, we come to a fact that there is still obviously a lot of bones and stuff to be uncovered from these areas, but now we have the chance, if there are specimens that we have already researched prior to that, we can compare those actually living creatures with these millions and billions of years old bones that we will find in the ground to see if there's anything new we can add to the knowledge that we already have. And this is something I'm building over here. So the idea is that we are going to dig for some wonderful, fossils, and then they will be researched and compared right on this spot where we have like a huge natural habitat in which we have the specimens that we are going to be researching. And in case we are going to find a new one, we have the methods and the facilities to right over breed this on this spot over here. And with the advanced technologies that have been shown during the course of Jurassic World 1 and 2, and also Camp Cretaceous, we definitely know that there is some pretty much speed up potential of these growing up processes, and that we don't need to wait for months and years until we have specimens, but it's actually incubation and the growth of it's like we are talking about a couple of months only until we can start researching these creatures. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, and this is where I started this idea. But obviously to do so we need some fossils, don't we? And even though the game is limited, I think I found a good way to at least fake them in a way, and just using the smallest rocks we have available to draw some, very bare bone, very base versions of fossils that just have a, very, 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 very loose connection to real world bones and fossils. It's just like trying to just emulate something. It's really not that crazy, but I think like for some shots and for seeing that from above, it really works out the way it is. But obviously don't quote me on the proportions and dimensions. This is just way too big, because just imagine, even for the gigantic Brachiosaurus, which I'm going to try to do over here, this fossil might even be in the scale of like, I don't know, 1 to 8 or so, like 8 times bigger than it actually is or whatnot. But yeah, there's just no other way to make that good looking. I wish I could have made that even smaller, but this is already the smallest rock, and I couldn't do much more. And also in terms of how the game works, in terms of being very far away with the camera, I think this is the right decision to just fake it and make it a bit bigger. There's just really not that much more you can do about this. So I ended up doing this, and honestly though, I'm very happy about this. And yeah, I also did a couple of things to make it a bit more lively, to make it a bit more working. We will have some ranger outposts later on that have been connected to some of the ranger vehicles, and they always kind of keep driving around, so as if there is something going on. Unfortunately, I still have the same issue that once I'm starting to put some pathways and stuff through buildings, that the people basically disappear. So yeah, well, actually, in fact, you will never see some scientists roaming around here, which would have been cool, but I'm going to die this death if it's necessary to build something cool like that. I just don't have anyone roaming around. I think that's just fine. So yeah, speaking of just fine, this is also going to be a very, very, very loose looking Stegosaurus fossil over here, just giving the idea of that one. And then we had like another one right at the beginning, which I can't really define more. It just could have been like a Triceratops, but it could also have been just something else, honestly. The only thing that is just clear is like all herbivores here. Would have been cool to just, try to bring in like a T-Rex, kind of skull or whatnot, but as you can imagine, since the T-Rex like fossil potentially is the most well-known one in the world, and so in order to make that good looking, you have to be pretty accurate, and guess what, that's just not doable at this scale, so I just stepped away from that. But it would have been certainly cool, not gonna lie about this would have been cool. And yeah, if we will ever get smaller pieces that we can use and abuse in a way that we make better looking fossils, that obviously would be cool. But I think this is also a bit more in line with what we can expect from Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, maybe not what we see on screen, but maybe what the story is going to tell us, that since many more companies and people and private persons now have the capability to create dinosaurs, or to is that like incubate, I should say, dinosaurs, that will lead to a lot of different facilities all around the world, and maybe some of them actually being used for like good research reasons, and not killing machines, weapons, death kind of fights or whatnot. So that would be good if there is enough potential for also like an actual research facility that is combined with maybe even fossils, who knows, maybe that's even part of canon then in the future. And I thought, you know what, just kind of trying to do that. And I'm quite happy with how it looks at the end. You will see that in a real-time part, how it actually is going to look like. And I'm quite happy with the overall dimension of at least the facility on its own. There's a lot of buildings. You can imagine that there's a lot going on, and there will actually be a lot of people working there, so that is definitely something that you could imagine, that there are some people working in different facilities, and some others are going to dig for some new fossils, and the other ones are going to transport that, and then there's like a lot of scientists that have to care for the existing living dinosaurs in the huge natural habitat. So there's just so much that would be needed to be done here, that you can actually imagine this to be a spot where a lot of people work together. And hence, I would have loved to really integrate a lot more like free time activities, like, building some spots like a, sport course or something. But everything I tried just even remotely didn't look like what I wanted. So I just stepped away from it. It's a bit of a shame, but I think it would have been cool, and then this is definitely something I would have done in the likes of Planet Zoo, Planet Coaster, or so. That would have been something rather interesting for that. I remember I did this actually for Isla Nopali. If you guys don't know about this series, Isla Nopali has been my major Planet Zoo series with about 100 plus episodes, building an island actually located on Hawaii, which is very similar to Isla Nublar styled build, and I just kind of reshaped the island of Isla Nublar, like in this case not Isla Nublar, but like a Hawaiian island that used to be like a nature reserve. I turned that into a theme park, and on that one we also did kind of staff areas which had a lot of like recreation stuff to or for the staff members themselves. And we did some little Easter eggs there, like hidden little things you can see. Very cool stuff. I remember good old times of Planet Coaster. In case there are some people watching this video who know Isla Nopali, please hands up in the comments. I really want to see that you guys have been here and you know that stuff. That would be really cool. And for everyone else who is interested, can actually watch that. In this series, we are talking a lot about Jurassic Park, obviously, and about my trip to Kauai, which is the island on which a lot of scenes and stuff have been filmed. But who I'm going to tell this, I mean, I think 80% of you guys watching definitely know what Kauai is and why Kauai is so important to this movie franchise. So yeah, that's about it from me in the voiceover. I really hope you guys are looking forward to the real-time part. Enjoy that one, and until then, have a good time, and we see each other after the cut. And so here we are, guys, in the real-time part, and this is again a little bit of a different one today, but I'm quite happy with how it turned out, and I think I can show it better off now in the real-time part. Now, obviously, let's not talk about any kind of dimensions or proportions or whatnot, because that's far off reality. But I think to sell the idea, it's kind of nice, and I just kind of thought, like, how would it be, as I said already in the voiceover, to have like a research facility nowadays with the possibility, like in the franchise, in Jurassic Park world, that we have actually the same animals, like in this area that are being researched here, like the fossils that might be uncovered. And so that is just the idea that, you know, these specimens would be brought here to study like both the recreated living ones and, you know, and I think this is really working out pretty well here in the, you know, in the final product, I should say. It's like nothing massive, you know, but we have this little research facility here where we've got like a lot of landing pads where they can come in, like one bigger one and then the smaller ones next to it as well. We've got the, you know, response facility over here. We've a couple of tents and research facilities. We've got a power generator, and we've got obviously the hatchery. That is pretty much important because we obviously need to get these animals that we will find here also in. And yeah, so that's just about it. I mean, what else shall I say? You know, look at that. I just love also sometimes the simplicity of just building these gigantic natural habitats. And let's have a little look quickly on the patterns because I randomized them, and I think I still haven't seen all of the patterns yet, and I certainly haven't seen this combination of the brachio. I love this greenish here on the more red base, I guess. That's pretty cool looking. That is also a very badass stego with like the almost pinkish. It's not like pink even. Like a very dark red, like violet, ultra dark violet. It's like a little bit of a temptation color. Let's have a look over here. This one is a classic one, more classic, but I love the pattern on the what was this, even plates? I don't know how you exactly call this, but yeah, scales. I don't know. Is it? I'm not really sure how you call these extensions. I remember that someone, you know, commented that, but I completely forgot about how that is one. I love that pattern. That really sells it for me. Oh, you look at that scratchy head and now rolling over to the side. Love the new animations. Spending way too little time to really look at that. It's also kind of funny that you have some of them that can roll over and some others, obviously, like that one that just really shouldn't do that because, well, how would you, you know? Gosh, the animation is so good. Let's have a little look. This is like a bit of a more bright pattern. Is it the same as this one? It's not really the same though, right? It's the same base pattern, but then you have got a different one on top. I love the subtle difference in here as well. Looks kind of neat as well. And then we've got these two who look like color saturation wise the same, but it's almost like inverted. Really cool stuff. Let's have a look there. Oh, look at that. Oh, boy, I love that. I just really love the lighting and everything. Is that the moon already shining over there? My god. I got it on 10 minutes, so this is why day and night passes by pretty quickly. Quite a fan of this pattern as well. Anyways, let's just fly up real quick and have a little last look on the facility in its full glory and pause the game because I don't want to have it completely, you know, in darkness. Also, by the way, I have, even though for what it's worth, I've got some Triceratops down here. I just don't really know what they would do here, but I found it interesting to have some animals on the beach as well. But you know, now you've seen that, you know they're there, but well, there's not really much more about this. But yeah, so this is it. And now guys, this is a, let me just find a spot here to end the episode in style. There you go. Wait, I just want to give you a bit of a better view over the fossil area. Now, really, I hope you guys enjoyed this bit of a different episode today. So in case if you guys are really up for more of this creative stuff, a bit more out of the box thinking and stuff like that, please consider subscribing if you haven't already. You know, that helps me growing the channel. It's the easiest way to tell the YouTube algorithm that you like the stuff, and you know, it's just very much helping me out. So thank you already in advance in case you do. And if you do so, I promise you weather tomorrow will be better than today if it's bad for you. You know what I mean? It's good weather. It's colder outside than at night. That's what it's gonna be. And also, thank you guys so much for your ongoing support. Now I need your input on if you've got some ideas what else we could do as like a one-off project here in Jurassic World Evolution. I just wanted to have a bit of a change of pace, and so hence I did this today. But yeah, there are more things open. So if you guys have some ideas what else could be tackled, let me know. All the stuff down below in the comments. So far so good. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Enjoy your time and stay safe. Goodbye.